The office of the President of Ukraine has been insisting on the need for a visa ban for Russians since mid-August. In one of his evening addresses, Volodymyr Zelensky said, "Europe should not be a place for entertainment for Russian citizens." The negotiation process with the West on this issue was supervised by the head of the office of the President, Andriy Yermak.
Visa ban for Russian citizens equal humiliation. Weapon plus sanctions plus isolation and humiliation equals defeat over the Russian world for many years to come. That's what Russia is afraid of, Andriy Yermak, head of the office of the President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
The initiative of the Ukrainian side was supported by the governments of Latvia, Lithuania, the Czech Republic, Estonia and Poland. In addition, this month Finland plans to join this list. The Baltic states have said that they will insist on a regional ban on issuing visas to Russians if the EU does not impose such a ban.
Это, конечно, достаточно болезненно для россиян.
This, of course, is quite painful for Russians, because they have often talked about it on many issues. After all, the middle class and the higher elite want to go to the West. The relatives want them to go to the West. So it is painful. But it is the right and necessary measure, especially since Russians often use tourist visas and travel either to sabotage or to carry out espionage.
Earlier, only certain Russian politicians and businessmen could not enter some European Union countries. But today, the list of Russians who cannot travel to Europe is expanding.
Currently, the decision that was passed by the European Union to suspend the simplified visa system, it concerns everyone, in fact. That is all those who could apply for a Schengen visa. So this is quite a wide range of people. The whole nuance is that this is not essentially a ban. It's rather a certain, more complicated procedure of obtaining an increase in the cost of obtaining a Schengen visa, but not a complete ban.
The United States believes that only restrictions on Russians who openly support Putin's regime and the war against Ukraine are sufficient now. However, they know that support for Ukraine should remain a priority for Washington.
Your emotional tweets on my feed about the violation of human rights of Russian tourists would carry a lot more weight with me if you expressed similar outrage about the violation of human rights of innocent Ukrainians being carried out every day by an invading Russian army. Michael McFaul, US ambassador to Russia from 2020 to 2014 on Twitter.
Experts believe that Ukraine should not stop at implementing a visa ban for Russians. This is just one of the diplomatic victories that are needed to isolate the aggressor.
Ukraine should now seek sanctions against Rosatom for what is happening at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. For example, it could forbid them to certify the units they are building in Turkey, Iran and also in Hungary. Another is the tightening of the banking regime to press the issue of sanctions in the context of assigning the status of sponsor of terrorism. This is the kind of nuclear sanctions after which the SWIFT system for Russia may not be disconnected, because the banks will no longer make any sense.
Reported by Roman Smoler, Larissa Zubenko, UATV News.